worth fighting are the ones that make you look at a clock. When you realize time has shifted farther than what you thought you could get through. Like when you climb a mountain, right before you reach the top, when you want to give up, turn around, and stop. Has your life ever felt like a fight? With constant hurdles to get through? Like steeplechase running. They literally choose to jump hurdles as a sport. But maybe that's the thing. When you know you can, you do. And maybe if we drew on our hand a point for every hurdle that we jumped, we would see it would look like a night sky full of stars, shining so bright with their radiance like nothing can overcome your resilience. So maybe it's not about the clenched jaws or the clenched fist, but about this, that you will have a fight to choose every day, to choose to fight or to save it for another day. Just not a rainy day, because those are for cuddles and love, because love is enough to change minds and hearts. And when it's not because you have failed. Nonviolence takes strength beyond the red you see, beyond the Red Sea, like when the clouds begin to form, with the crashing waves and the rain that pours. You will have sailed through. With the weight of it all, like the weight of Atlas who holds the world, overcoming obstacles you never thought you could before. Because no matter who you are, my life, your life, my fight and yours, those are fights. Fights worth fighting for. My name is Ciriac Isbeth, and I translate my experiences into spoken word, and by doing things so other people don't face the same obstacles that I have. My great-grandmother's name is Juanita. She taught me selflessness because she would literally tear her own skirts so my mother would have new dresses to wear. My grandmother's name is Consuelo, and she taught me strength as she took on the burden of raising 14 children, including my mother, Raquel, who teaches me hope to look beyond all the negativity that surrounds me. I say their names to honor their courage and legacy, their resilience and love. Because of them, I am who I am, and I can become who I want to become. My name is Ciriac Alvarez Valle, and I am undocumented and unafraid. I was born in Cuernavaca, Morelos, Mexico, and I immigrated to the United States when I was 5 years old with my family. I have lived in Salt Lake City, Utah for the past 17 years. I grew up here, and my parents, they made their home here. I graduated at the top of my class in high school and a senior class president in 2013. I went on to study at the University of Utah and was the first in my family to obtain a bachelor's degree in political science and honors sociology. It wasn't always easy though. In fact, I almost didn't have enough to pay for my last semester. But I learned that my education meant more than me. It meant that I could be an advocate for the community that was silenced around me, an advocate for the 8-year-old with the reoccurring dream of her father driving the car, being stopped by police. Police would turn to ice, and when he stepped out of the car, he'd be gone. This reoccurring nightmare that was true, that my family may someday be separated by deportation. But this administration continues to attack immigrants, DACA recipients, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program, TPS, Temporary Protection Status, to try to cut legal immigration and separate families at the border who are seeking asylum. But despite all of this, I have hope. I'm in the middle of my law school applications, working full-time at an advocacy organization, and despite all that constant litigation, I have hope because I believe that big or small, chiquito o grande, vale la pena. It's worth it. Que tu vida debería de ser más que dolor. That your life should be more than pain. I believe in three things: health access, education equity, and immigrant and refugee rights, all intertwined to believing in one thing: a commitment to human rights and dignity. I was 13 when I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. I didn't get access to care until a year later because my parents didn't have enough funds to pay for my doctor's visits or medications. I didn't have health insurance, so that also meant I didn't get glasses until I was 16 and didn't see a therapist for anxiety until I was a senior in college. All of these experiences intertwined have helped me understand the vital role that health has for each one of us, which is why today I work as a policy fellow at an advocacy organization to do just that, to make sure that all kids, regardless of their immigration status, income, geography, or any other factor, have access to health care. Because health access is a fight worth fighting for. But not everything can be done through policy change. In fact, I learned that my senior year in high school when I was trying to apply to college, when my advisor said they didn't know how to help me get to college. Luckily, I was connected to a student organization called Mestizos Arts and Activism. They helped me and other first-generation students get access to higher education. But not everyone is so lucky. In fact, one of my best friends didn't have enough funds for their first semester. I and a couple of other people found the funds. And we realized one thing, that this obstacle was bigger than her or me. And so we started a student organization to help raise funds for undocumented students at the University of Utah. Thanks to this organization, we've helped fund scholarships for new students, helped start a dream center, and my friend is on their way to graduate with their bachelor's degree. I and the other students realized that we had to look beyond the obstacle that laid ahead of us, and that education equity is a right for everybody, regardless of their immigration status or birthplace. I learned to share my story when I was a senior in high school, when other people were unafraid to share their names. I learned about immigration policy and wanted to change people's perceptions about who they thought immigrant families like mine were. I took the risk because immigrant and refugee lives are worth the risk. So it's worth telling you that there are 11 million undocumented immigrants living in the United States today. 800,000 of us are DACA recipients. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program is a worker's permit with a lot of requirements, including having come before the age of 16, being present on June 15th of 2012 when President Obama announced the program, pass a background check, be on your way or have graduated with a GED or high school diploma, and pay $495 for every application and renewal. But despite these limitations and restrictions, young people like me have moved forward. I was able to pay my way through college and now work full-time with access to health care. Other people got better working conditions, worked better jobs, were able to obtain higher education or even their first cars and their first homes. I believe change comes by directly influencing policies that have negatively impacted communities like mine. But I also believe it comes through healing, spoken word, art, and poetry. I believe that my life is far from linear. It's more like a constellation of stars that have connected me to be where I need to be and go where I need to go. I also believe it has connected you to come here today, to be here today and to listen, because we each have a choice to do or to don't, to listen and to try to understand or not to. And I also believe it has brought me here to honor one person. Her name is Jacqueline Amé Rosemary Gal Makin. She died at the border 2 days ago trying to seek asylum. Instead of a moment of silence, I want a moment of commitment, because she deserved a life. a life lived well. Because more than the DREAM Act, a solution that would create a pathway to citizenship for young people like me, we need comprehensive and humane immigration reform that systematically recognizes immigrants and refugees as people first. I want to end the same way that I started, with the spoken word. I am more than your tacos on Tuesday. You see, I'm more of a Frida Kahlo on Friday, Selena Quintanilla on Saturday, with an amor prohibido, a prohibited love that might have something to do with the machismo I come back to on Monday. You see, I am the I in illegal, as in I am somebody, and I deserve full equality. I am the cries during protests and rallies that scream, undocumented, unafraid, undocumented, and here to stay. I am the humanity when you build the wall, and at 4'11", I still stand up tall. I stand against the hate that tries to penetrate through my community because I am the farm workers class, the one that tries to bring unity. I am the written words of In Lakesh because you are my other me. Tú eres mi otro yo, and if I do harm to you, si yo te hago daño a ti, then I do harm to myself. Entonces yo me hago daño a mí misma. I am a galaxy of 1,000 suns and moons, somehow connected back to you. You see, I am my mother's sacrifices and her dreams. I am the daughter of a housekeeper, the one who scrubbed away her pain and folded in her strength for people who would never know the powerful person that I have known. Just the cleaning lady who spent about 20 minutes in their room. Today, I exist, I breathe, and I am loved. Today, my mother exists. Today, she breathes and she is loved. And no matter who I am or who I may become, no matter our immigration status or criminal background, today, we are more than enough.